On May 29th, a panel of self-described independent experts held a press conference at the Organization of American States. The panel presented a 400-page report accusing the Venezuelan government of crimes against humanity and demanded the prosecution of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro at the International Criminal Court. Heading up the panel was Santiago Canton, an Argentinian human rights lawyer who has led the Latin American program of the National Democratic Institute, an arm of the State Department that pays opposition groups in Venezuela. Also involved in the report and on the panel was Irwin Cotler, a former Canadian parliamentarian and veteran Israel lobbyist who recently blamed Palestinians for Israel's killing of 62 protesters in one day in the Gaza Strip. Cotler was also the lawyer for Leopoldo Lopez, the jailed right-wing coup leader and orchestrator of Venezuela's violent garimbas. Cotler accused Venezuela's government of committing the worst humanitarian crisis in the history of Latin America.
Where the government itself is responsible for the worst ever humanitarian crisis in the region.
I questioned the members of the panel about their moral consistency and claim of independence.
Max Blumenthal. My question is, I was told that independent experts would be at this panel. Mr. Cotler has been a lawyer for the right-wing coup leader Leopoldo Lopez, and he's also spent his career defending Israeli human rights crimes. He recently defended the shooting and killing of 62 protesters in the Gaza Strip, along with the shooting of thousands more. I heard the Secretary General refer to the OAS as a moral force. How can it claim to be a moral force, and how can this report not be considered compromised considering the involvement of someone like Mr. Cotler, who defends human rights crimes by a U.S. ally while condemning them against a country where the U.S. is openly seeking regime change? And I also would ask about the independence of Mr. Canton. You've been affiliated with the National Democratic Institute, which is connected to the National Endowment for Democracy, which pays opposition groups in Venezuela, and cheered on the 2002 coup against Hugo Chavez. So can you please address your own independence? And Mr. Cotler, why did you support the shooting and killing of protesters in the Gaza Strip while condemning those in Venezuela?
First of all, you're entitled to ask any question you wish. You're not entitled to make misrepresentations of fact and law. I will allow the report to stand on its own with respect to the independent witness testimony of the victims, many of whom appeared before us here in public hearings. I will allow the international legal authorities in reference to that documentary evidence and witness testimony to stand for itself. And one corrective, I did not support massive killings with respect to Palestinians.
You blamed Palestinians.
I didn't interrupt you. And that has nothing to do with this report. So as a matter of fact, you are wrong, and as a matter of law, you are engaged in misrepresentations.
Just briefly, I did work for the National Democratic Institute, and I'm proud of that, and I worked with NDI until 1998. What happened afterwards, I have no idea, and if they are working with the opposition now, that's okay with me, I have no problem with that. ¿Alguna otra pregunta?